welcome to my second video looking at the 5 ways to well-being, and today I'm looking at the second of our 5 a day, which is keep learning. So why is learning considered essential for our well-being? Well, it's all because our brains are designed for learning. They are learning machines, and if they're not learning, they're not particularly happy. To unpick this, we have to think about something called neuroplasticity. This is something that neuroscientists really love going on about, and it basically means that our brains are like plastic. You know, they're not something stuck in a fixed position. They are flexible, they're malleable, we can reshape them. You know, they're constantly moving and changing, so they're not stuck in this fixed physical state. And the way that your brain actually changes its physical state, the way it grows, is through learning. And you know, we used to do this all the time. Like when we're first born, we pop out and we don't know anything. It's like sensory overload. There's things to see, taste, smell, touch, and all the neurons in our brains go wow, and they start firing off and retaining all this new information, and they're forming pathways all over the place, and that leads to our brains growing and being shaped. And this continues into childhood. You know, children are always learning. They're very curious about the world around them, constantly asking why? And this is why plasticity is very high when we're young. Now, this does decrease as we get older. You know, surroundings become very familiar. We do tend to stop asking questions. And essentially, we're creatures of habit. We enjoy getting stuck in regular thought patterns and regular routines. And this is okay, but if we're not engaging our brain in learning new things, its plasticity does decrease and you become quite fixed. So say you have a very regular thought pattern that you have every day. You sort of tread that neural pathway, and each time you do it, you're strengthening it, you're reinforcing it. And if that's a negative thought, that can have a very detrimental effect on our mental health. So keeping learning is important to get these pathways growing and give us other avenues of thought. And you know, with neuroplasticity, it is basically use it or lose it. We have got all these neurons sat waiting for new information because they want to help us brains to change shape. If they don't get any information, they just die off, and all the little pathways can fall away. So what we need to be doing is learning things to keep our neurons firing and help our brains grow in that web-like way that they love, and get all the little bits of it lighting up. Because a happy brain, as I've said before, leads to a greater sense of well-being. So how do we get learning into everyday life? Well, it doesn't have to be a massive big thing like going to do a degree or starting at college. That's what I used to think, you know, it had to be a big, huge commitment. It's not. It's really, I think, about trying something new every day. Something that will stimulate your brain. Something that does force it to engage and think, oh, I've got to take notice, retain some new information. What's this? I've never seen this before. You know, can you rediscover an old hobby or get into a new hobby? Can you do something like a puzzle? Your brain loves puzzles. Jigsaws are great, things like crosswords and Sudoku. They all stimulate so many cognitive processes. Can you go out walking somewhere different? Really engage with your surroundings and just take notice of what's around you. Be curious. Act as if you're a child. Start to wonder why about things. Your brain loves those kind of questions. It loves interacting with the world around us, and it loves seeing new things. You know, can you do something like trying out a new recipe, learning about the food you're eating? We can do things like visiting museums and art galleries. They're great places to go just to engage with the subject a little bit and learn something new. What you're doing now is watching a YouTube video. That's a great way of learning, and there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. And just by listening to me saying one sentence, you will be forming new neural connections. So well done. That is a keep learning for today ticked off. There is a wealth of online learning materials around, so do explore them. There's so many free courses, and you can pick a subject and learn about it if you want to. And also, we've got great documentaries on telly, there's great podcasts around. Listen to the radio. Just start taking an interest in things. Your brain will thank you for it. It will be doing what it's designed to do, which is learning. And a happy brain is what we want. So let's all go out, try and learn something new every day, get all them neurons firing and get these pathways formed. Thank you. Hope that's explained a bit about why learning is so important for our well-being. On my next video, I'll be looking at be active. So I do hope you will come back for that. And thank you for watching.